Hi, I'm Andy from Ninox Corporation. In this class, we're going to look at how to process customer sales invoices. Now, previously, we looked at doing customer order entry. That's where we would go into our sales module and use the order entry screen so our order takers, the folks at our sales desk, could process the orders and get them into the system. Now we're going to look at actual invoicing. Remember, a sale must have an invoice to be complete. You don't have to fill out the order form to get to an invoice, but you must prepare and deliver an invoice for the sale to be completed and reflected in our financials and other business reports. I'm going to go ahead and create a new invoice, and this will bring up our blank invoicing screen. The invoice number and date are automatic. The OE prefix tells me this is an order entry transaction. 2312 is the year and the month, and it will automatically and sequentially number each invoice as we process into the system. When you first start using your system, you can set the next invoice number so it'll start incrementing at the proper point. We can select our customer, and if we are going to drop ship or ship it to a location different from the billing location, we can use the ship to here. Keep in mind your default billing address is always the billing address as it's defined for the account, the bill to customer. The customer ship to is optional. The sales rep allows us to keep track of who made the sale for purposes of commissions and or bonuses. We can also track our customers' purchase orders. If we filled out any picking or packing details or shipping information on the order form, that will automatically transfer here. If we didn't, or if there is no order form connected to this invoice, we can simply enter that information directly through the invoice entry screen. Estimated ship date and our different shipping options, which you can define at runtime. Pricing is based on the account. Different accounts, different customers might get different discount levels, might be on different price structures. This will default based on the default pricing structure set to the customer. If that customer or account does not have a default price list, you can add the pricing model here at runtime. This is the name of the buyer, the name of the person who works at the customer account. And we also have the ability here to effectively connect this invoice, this sale, to a particular event. Maybe you are direct selling at a trade show, and also link optionally to a campaign. Maybe this particular sale is part of a year-end or holiday marketing campaign, and you want to track all of the sales that were generated through that campaign. So the event and the campaign fields are optional. They are user definable, and this allows you to associate sales and report on and summarize sales according to certain events and or campaigns. As we know, classification and category are completely user definable. You can have as many as you want. Every invoice can optionally have a class, and classes can be subdivided into categories. If an invoice memo or sales memo was entered on the order entry screen, it'll transfer automatically here. If it was not entered or there is no order entry screen associated with this invoice, you can type the memo in directly. And remember, we have our options for hold, to consign, or rush ship the sale. And we also can track whether our shipping charges will be charged back to the customer or whether they're going to get free shipping. Aging of our invoices and aging of our receivables is automatic according to these categories. It's current if it's less than 30 days, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, all the way through going into collection or simply writing off the invoice as a receivable we would never collect. The system will automatically age your receivables by comparing the due date and the invoice date to the current date. And as the current date advances, unpaid invoices will get older and older. Once an invoice is paid and it goes to full pay, the aging will stop. Our bill to and ship to addresses and contact information will appear here in this area based on the information we've entered here in the bill to account and here in the customer ship to address. When it's time to enter line items, we can go ahead and create the line items, pick inventory. Let's say we're selling 10 widgets at $150 a widget for a $1,500 line item. Now the system knows the cost of the widgets, which are $20, which is at 10 units, a $200 cost against a $1,500 line total, which gives us a $1,300 margin. You can set a user's security profile to indicate whether or not you want this information, the unit cost and the line profit information, to appear at runtime. You can hide this if you just want the salesperson to see the quantity ordered, the unit price, and the calculated line total. As we enter our line items, our item total will change here. Let's enter one more line item, and let's say we have item 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 50 of those at $1.75 each. So we have 2 line items totaling $1,587.50. Now as we scroll down, we see here there are additional charges that we can amend or append to a sales invoice. Sales taxes or value-added tax, discounts either by dollar amount or percentage, maybe shipping handling charges, possibly additional charges for office processing, for import duties, inspections, things like that. The item total, this top line, will always be the calculated sum total of this column here, the total charges for our line items. These other line items, sales tax, adjustments, shipping and handling, additional charges, these can be entered manually by simply clicking anywhere in this gray box. When I click on the box, it'll open up these fields here for data entry. This box is a toggle switch. Click again, the fields go away. Think of it as an on-off switch. Now we have it on. Here's our line total. Let's say we have a 10% sales tax or value-added tax. I can go in and type in $158.75. And let's say we also want to give them a 12% discount. Now off the top of my head, I don't know what 12% of 1587.5 is. So I'm going to go to percent, type in 15. The system is going to calculate it and tell me that's $238.13 and flip it back to the dollar discount. Shipping and handling is $50. Import duties are $15. And this gives us a invoice total after discount of $1573.13. That's net of taxes, shipping and handling, additional fees. The discount, by the way, is calculated only on the line total. Now that we have the invoice completed, we know who we're selling to, where we're shipping, all of the pricing information, and we have the total amount due on the invoice and the detail of everything being purchased. Now we have some options to consider. If this is a sales order, and that is the default, we can just leave this as is, and this will tell us that this is a sales order to be billed to this customer, which should drive a future cash receipt or a payment receipt. If it is a consignment, we may be delivering product and goods, the products and goods detailed here in the line items, but we may not necessarily be getting paid at the time we deliver the product. If this is a consignment, we can go here and indicate where the products and goods are being sent to. Maybe our consignee has their own inventory and we're going to deliver goods to the consigned inventory, and we'll get paid down the road. Maybe we'll receive multiple payments as that consigned inventory is sold. If we're using our project management or job costing modules, we can also assign this invoice to a project, a job, a milestone, or a task. Maybe this invoice is for a draw request upon completion of a particular milestone within a project or development. We can track that here by indicating that this is a project invoice. The order is the default. And these items here, in these icons, we can access and integrate with our document management module, our notebook, optionally our project management and job cost module. We also can track logistics. If we are selling these goods to this customer, we may want to generate a pick ticket. So those items can be picked out of inventory, which would lead to a packing slip and then a shipping notice. So you have the option to use the invoice to drive the picking, packing, and shipping in logistics. And then finally, we know that unposted transactions don't appear on the financial statements. In order for this invoice to be reflected in our gross sales and be reflected in our accounts receivable, we're going to use this icon to post the transaction to the sales journal, which will eventually go to our general journal. As long as an invoice is unposted, it can be edited, it can be changed, it can even be deleted. Once an invoice has been successfully posted to the ledger, it can no longer be edited, it can no longer be deleted. It can be offset with a credit memo, or if they want to add items to their order, another invoice can be prepared. But as this invoice is going to generate debits and credits in our ledger, once that ledger is updated, the invoice cannot be edited or deleted for purposes of internal control and accountability. We can go ahead and print the invoice, which will come out as a PDF, which we can store in our document system and or mail to the customer or print out for some other form of delivery. That's our invoicing. Now in our next class, we're going to see how we process payments that we receive against these invoices that we send out. I'll see you in that class. Thanks very much.